Virgo, thanks for visiting. This is your reading for February the 10th to the 16th. And as I always ask you, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. That's over with. No more of that. I'm going to start your reading right now. So the first card you have your past is the Empress. Beautiful, beautiful card. And you've got so much nurturing, so much love here, and I can see that, and I can see the Strength card right next to it, and also right next to that is the Ace of Cups. So much love, nurturing, care, all that kind of thing. And so what I'm seeing here is nurturing, unconditional love. That's what I'm seeing, unconditional love. And also there's unconditional love in the Strength card, because my eye keeps on going across to the Strength card. And you know, unconditional love with that infinity symbol, love that lasts forever. Doesn't matter what happens, it lasts forever. So I'm seeing that here. I'm seeing unconditional love, and because she's a mother, obviously good mothers have unconditional love for their children, so that's where that comes from, I think. Unconditional love. Okay, so what I'm getting here is you did have that kind of love for someone at one time, but it turned into being not unconditional or conditional because of after something that happened. So that's what I'm seeing there. And I'm seeing a very, very strong need to protect yourself. And I think it's probably because of that person. So there was someone you really, 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 really loved, and it was unconditional until a time that it wasn't, I should say. So it wasn't really unconditional, but okay, so yeah, I've got this protecting yourself, because the Empress can be a protector, a carer, and you're protecting what you have. You had to protect what you had from someone. That's what I'm seeing. Now, it's not like someone was stealing from you. I'm not seeing that. Well, they might have been, but that's not what I'm really getting here. It's more like someone was stealing your energy. They might have been stealing resources as well. It's like you were being drained, actually. They were draining the energy out. They were draining things from you. And, you know, this is the Empress, obviously. So she's naturally caring. She's loving. And that's how you were towards someone. You cared for someone. You loved them. And they were leaning on you. They were leaning on you. They were letting you take care of them. That's what I'm seeing. And I think in the beginning, I think you were fine. You were fine with that. You wanted to take care of them. Firstly, because you had really, really strong feelings for them. Obviously, this is an axe. So you had really strong feelings. You really loved them. It's like they came to you and they said, oh, I'm at my worst. I've had this horrible time. I'm really down financially. I've got this problem and that problem. You know, I really, really do love you. I'm going to get back on my feet. And because you love them so much, you said, yes, I'll take care of you. I'll do this. That's absolutely fine. And, you know, all this love, sympathy, care, everything like that, I think you got them back on their feet. That's what I'm seeing. You really, really did everything for them. You really helped them. And then after a while, you did that and they got back on their feet. But they weren't really giving anything back to you. And what I mean by that is, it's not like you wanted them to pay you back materially. It's not like that. It's not like, oh, I gave you money, you have to give it back. It's not like that. It's more about the feeling behind that, and you know, the intention behind that. That's the word I'm trying to think of, intention. So, you know, it's about being grateful. It's like, oh, you know, if they've done this for me and it's because they love me and they care about me, I want to do this for them, and I want to be there for them, and I want to, it's not about things, it's about an attitude. And you really, really weren't getting that from them. And then I think one day you just said, well, do they really, really care about me? It looks like they don't. It really looks like they don't, because I've done everything for them and I'm not seeing any of that coming back at all. So I'm just seeing something else here. Something about eyes, their eyes. There's something quite distinctive about their eyes. It's like something, their eyes drew you to them. I can see that. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Might to someone. So yeah, so I just said that. So okay, and I think you're probably away from them now. It's very interesting that right hand candle's jumping up and down and the left one straight. I'm trying not to look at that. So yeah, so you're either in the process of getting away from them or you've already left them. So I'm seeing that there. And okay, I just want to say this, it's not going to be for everyone, but I'm getting a little bit of guilt here. That's the feeling I'm getting here. And it's like, okay, if you went through a time, if this all resonates with you, and if you went through a time where you spent a lot of your energy and resources and everything on this person or on someone, and if that stopped you from spending time with someone else, it's not too late. I just feel as if I had to give someone that message. It's not too late. You can repair things again. Okay, so I just wanted to give someone that message. Okay, so the next card you have you passed is Justice. Yeah, look at this. Look at these scales. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. You were doing all the help. You were doing everything for them, and they didn't do anything back for you. It's not like not doing anything. I keep on saying that, but that's not really what I'm getting at. It's more about the intention. It's more like they didn't feel as if they wanted to do anything for you or help you. It doesn't have to be things. It can be caring for you. It can be making you a cup of tea. It can be, you know, doing something kind. Anything. But nothing like that happened. And so you're just like, well, that's not fair. You know, look at these scales. That's not fair. So I think you finally did separate after a while, obviously, because you're not with them now. But I think there might have been a few endings, actually, backwards and forwards. I'm seeing a little bit of that. But I think the last ending, I think when it finally ended, it feels quite sudden, actually. Not in terms of physical separation. It's not like you slammed the door and ran away, or maybe you did, but it's more about what happened in your head, because it's a little bit like a switch went off. It's like, right, that's it. I can't do this anymore. The switch is going off. And so maybe you were there for longer than, you know, maybe you were there, the switch went off in your head, but you had to stay there until you could actually leave. So there's that. But you'd actually already left in your head. So I hope that makes sense to someone. But you did have very, 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 very deep feelings for this person. That keeps on coming across all the time. I'm seeing respect here as well. So in the beginning, I think you had respect for them because you love them, obviously. So if you love someone, you respect them. But yeah, again, I'm seeing this. They came to you when their life was a little bit of a mess. And there were lots of promises as well. Lots and lots of promises. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get back on my feet. Thank you so much for your help. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. And it didn't really happen. So it's like, okay, I'm not sure if this is going to make sense, but I'll try and explain this. It's kind of like you had respect for what you thought they were going to become. The potential of them, if that makes sense, and what they promised you they were going to become. It's like, I'm going to do this. And okay, I'm not saying you're superficial. I'm not saying you wanted them to become something like this big, amazing business person or whatever. It's not like that. It's more about wanting to make an effort. It's not about the thing. It's not about, oh, I want them to be this big, rich person. It's not that. It's about, I just want them to make an effort. I want them to show me that they care about me, and make an effort so that they can show me that's what this is all about. It's not about things. It's not about paying back. It's not about money. It's more about showing you that they care enough for you, and they're making an effort to show you that. So I hope that makes sense. And so yeah, but that's not what happened. And yeah, they kept on leaning on you. I'm seeing that. They kept on leaning on you. And you can see that in the Nine of Wands. He's leaning on this wand. He's just leaning on the wand. So, you know, you wanted to respect them, but you couldn't do that. And the other reason why that is because they kept on leaning on you. And the Empress is obviously a mother. So you didn't want to be a mother. You didn't want to be a parent. You could be male or female. So you didn't want to be a parent. You wanted to be an equal partner. And you couldn't have them leaning on you all the time. And I know that feels quite nasty. It feels like, well, I don't want them leaning on me. I don't want to help them. It's not that. You did help them. You did help them a lot. But it got to the point where they just kept on and on and on, and it was just so much. And then you lost, I've got to say, I know that sounds horrible, but you did lose respect for them. So you lost that respect. So the last card you have your past is, yeah, the Nine of Wands. So yeah, you've gotten over the worst, I think, you've gotten out of the worst, I should say, not over, because I think you still have some emotional things to deal with, but you physically got out of the worst. You moved forward, a little bit like this man. You know, he's really, you know, he's got this bandage around his head, he's all kind of battered and bruised and things, but he's still moving forward anyway. So that's kind of how you felt. And yeah, I think you might have gone back a few times. I keep on seeing that you went back a few times. But when you came back the final time, or when you left the final time, if that resonates with you, it feels a lot stressful, because it's like you left and then you went back one last time. And then when you're in that time, that one last time with them, it was extremely stressful, very stressful. I'm seeing, excuse me, everything being on trial. Everything felt like it was a trial. Sorry, my throat's, sorry about that. Sorry, earphone wearers. So yeah, it felt like it was a trial. Okay, so let's get back together. This is what's like. So let's get back together and we'll see how it works. And you're not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to do that. We've had the talk. I can't do this, otherwise it'll be over. You can't do this, otherwise it'll be over. So everyone's kind of watching everyone, and you're all really kind of on you know, walking on eggshells, being afraid to do things. And so I think you were worrying about what they were going to do. You're going to, you know, whether they're going to repeat the same things again, whether they're going to make all these promises and never do the things they said. You're like, oh, are they going to do this? What's going to happen? Really, really stressful. And I think you're also putting yourself on trial as well, because I'm seeing this parent role, and you didn't want to be in that role. You didn't want to be their parent. But a part of you felt like you had to tell them certain things, because you had to, because if you didn't tell them, they wouldn't do things. So it was like, I don't want to be telling them what to do like a parent, but if I don't do that, then it doesn't get done. So there's that kind of double stress there as well. So it was stressful for both of you, really. And then I think you finally walked away from that. And when you did finally walk away, I think it was like, well, I can really see there's nothing left here now. There's no growth here. It's not going to grow anymore. I wanted it to, but it's not getting anywhere. It's really not. So I have to move forward. So, you know, because if you look at this Wall of Wands here on this card, I'll just lift it up because you might not be able to see. So yeah, there's this Wall of Wands, and just behind the Wall of Wands, there's all these little mountains just at the bottom, like all these mountains. And you know, there's no grass on the mountains, there's no, you know, there aren't any trees, there's nothing like that growing on there. It's all completely barren. So I think that's what you realised. It's like, there's no growth here. We're not actually getting anywhere. So I have to move forward like this man. So that's what you did. And so you've moved on physically, but there's still a little bit of emotional hurt there. A little bit of emotional, yeah, hurt. That's all I can think of, because this man's got this bandage around his head. You've got a bit of a wall around you as well, so you're not letting anyone else in. So that's what I'm seeing on that card as well, but that's absolutely fine. That's fine. You're protecting yourself. Okay, so the first card you have here present is Strength. Really, really nice card. So this is showing you basically, you know, very, very basic meaning here. I'm seeing it quite literally. You're very strong. You're a lot stronger than you used to be when you're around this person. And part of that's because you are actually getting stronger. But part of it's because you're getting stronger. Excuse me. You're getting stronger because you actually have this wall around you. So you need to have that barrier around you so that you don't let the wrong people in, so that you can just be by yourself and just gather your strength by yourself. You don't want to be interfered with. You don't want people telling you what to do. You don't want people telling you, you know, this, that, and the other thing. You just want to be all by yourself and get your strength together by yourself, and that's absolutely fine to do that. There's nothing wrong with having a barrier around yourself until you're ready to move forward and out of that. And yeah, I feel as if I had to tell you that, because I think you might have some people around you saying, oh, go out and meet someone, that's how you're going to get over this, you know, meet someone new. And you know, if you want to do that, you do that, but you're not doing that. So you know when you're ready. There's absolutely nothing wrong with protecting yourself. And I'm seeing something else here as well. I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. You've got a little bit of an attitude, I think. You've got a little bit of an attitude right now. You know, sometimes when you go through a process of getting over someone, you go through different stages. You go through the sad stage, and then you get in the anger stage. So maybe that's where you are. Maybe you're in the anger stage, because it kind of makes you say no a lot more. No to everyone. Not just potential love connections, but to absolutely everyone, or to people who try and get you to do something you don't want to do. So you might be a little bit snappy right now, actually, with people. So yeah, I'm seeing that snappiness. And usually you're the opposite. You're a bit more like what this card's really about, you know, taming your temper, not saying anything. And you're usually like this woman in this card, you know, all about peace and all that kind of thing. But you're quite snappy, if that resonates with you. That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, you might be surprising some people actually when they come and say, oh, can you do this extra work for me? Can you stay back a bit later? Can you do this favour for me, please? And you'll be like, nope. It's not like you at all. So you're going to really shock some people if that's what's happening. And yeah, really funny. So, okay. All right. So the next card you have for your present is the Queen of Cups. Okay. So this is a little bit serious. So this is something I want you to watch out for. It's not scary, don't worry. It's just a little bit more serious. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about these two cards together, this and the Magician. Okay, so the Queen of Cups, she's obviously the queen of emotions. She's the queen of emotions. She's ruled by her feelings, pretty much. And I think this Axe, they might actually be in a little bit of a shock right now. Actually, no, it feels like aftershock. It feels like aftershock, actually, because I think they might have expected you to come back again. And you're not coming back again. Yeah, you know, it's funny because I was seeing unconditional love in the Empress. That's the very first thing I saw in this whole reading, unconditional love. And I think that's what they're expecting. They're expecting unconditional love from you. They're expecting you to always come back, always be there for them. Just like a mother to a child. A good mother's always there for their child, but you're not their mother, you're not their parent. So, sorry, I get a bit angry with these people. So, yeah, so in the beginning, I think when you first separated, I don't think it really sunk in with them that you'd actually separated, because I think they thought, well, they'll come back again. And because you've been back before as well, you've been backwards and forwards, so they were like, well, they'll come back again, they always do. So that's the kind of thing they had, and they were just expecting that. And I think they probably still are right now. They are right now. They're very emotional. They miss you, they miss having you there, and part of them's like that, and another part of them's like, well, yeah, they'll come back again. But I think as time goes on, the realization that you're not actually coming back, it's slowly coming closer to them. It's coming in closer, a bit like this tide that's coming in. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the water. Sorry, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this water coming in. I'm looking at this tide coming in. So it's gradually coming in. So it's like, oh, the realization's finally slowly sinking in. That's what I'm getting. So because this realization's sinking in, it's kind of making them a lot more emotional. And yeah, they've got some time to think as well. They don't have a lot of things occupying their time right now for some reason. So they've got time to think. They've got time to be all emotional and sit there. And yeah, with this sequence between the Queen of Cups and the Magician, it looks like they want to manifest you back. They want to manifest the relationship back. And maybe that's what they're going to start to do when they're a little bit less emotional, because I'm seeing emotions turning into action. They've got emotions and then it turns into action. Now, I just want to say one thing about this. If this is you, you're not in danger. I'm not seeing that, so I don't want you to worry, but I am seeing a connection coming in. I am seeing them trying to make a connection at some time with you again. Now, yeah, my immediate feeling about this automatically is that if they do come in and connect with you again, it doesn't look positive. It doesn't look like you want to have much to do with them, really, because you've got all these barriers around you, and they're the reason why you've got the barriers around you, so it doesn't look good for them. And just one more thing about the Magician. When they connect, they might try and connect in an unusual way, a little bit of attention seeking. I'm seeing that. Again, nothing scary, so don't worry about that, but they're going to use their mind to think of something a little bit different to talk to you again. It might just be a gift or something like that, but it's something a little bit different. But don't be afraid, it's nothing bad. I'm just seeing them thinking, oh, what can I do that's really different? Because they've been backwards and forwards so many times, we've been through so much, but I really want them back. So what can I do that's really going to make them say, oh wow, that's the kind of thing I'm seeing now. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the Ace of Cups, which is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful card. Very emotional again, obviously. And yeah, again, it looks like they're going to stay in their emotions for a while. They're going to stay in this emotional state for a while. They probably won't be showing that on the outside. I don't think they do show that on the outside. You've seen that side of them, but to the world they don't like to show their emotions. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing. So okay, I'll just tell you this. If you start seeing lots of pictures of them suddenly coming up on social media or whatever, they might be kind of making out that they're having a fantastic time and they're at a party and they're smiling and they're here and they're there with all their friends and all that kind of thing. If you see that kind of thing, all of a sudden, lots and lots of things, that's an indication, I think, that they're working their way through this emotional state, and they're going to go into the thinking state, and then they're going to go into the acting state. So they're going to come closer, they're going to come and they're going to connect to you. So if you see all these photos, all these pictures, that's an indication that they're coming closer to communicating with you. And it's all a front as well. They're hiding their emotions with all these pictures. Oh, look at how happy I am. So that's an indication there. Now, there's something else here. It's really beautiful, actually. You've got some really, really big changes coming up for you. I'm seeing a few lifestyle changes, outer changes, but mostly these are inner changes. Really, really, really important inner changes. I'm seeing healing. I'm seeing growing. Really nice. And, you know, if you look at this card, you've got 5 streams of water coming down out of this cup, 5 of them. So the number 5 can be about exactly that, huge change. And so I think before these physical changes happen, you know, you've got to go through all these emotional changes. Again, lots of healing. I keep on seeing healing. That's what this card can be about. Growing into a stronger person. You've already started doing this because I'm seeing that in the Strength card. But this is like the final stages of healing. And okay, so when you've been through this healing, this is what's going to happen, I think. This is quite specific. Okay, I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. I'm just going to say this. I'm actually seeing a place, and it feels like it's somewhere you want to go back to. So you've been there before, you want to go back there again. Now, part of you wants to go back, or you've always thought about going back there, but there's a little bit of anxiety as well, because it feels like you've got a little bit of, you know, you've got some good memories of this place, but there's also, how do I describe this? Haunting memories. So it feels a little bit like push-pull when it comes to this place. Part of you wants to go back, and then another part of you gets a little bit anxious, you know, when you think about that. But, you know, when you get right to the end of this healing process, you'll be ready to go back to this place. You won't feel anxious, you won't feel any of that. You'll go back to that place. And when you go back there, you definitely will. I'm seeing that. When you go back there, and you come back again, you won't have all those kind of difficult memories of that place again. You're going to have new ones of your last visit to there. So it's going to be really, really positive for you. And I think it's going to put an end to a lot of bad old kind of energies that you kind of had around that place. I think you had some very difficult relationships in that place or something like that. It doesn't have to be love relationships. It could be all kinds of things, might be family, could be anyone. But there was a lot of kind of bad, I don't want to say bad, but kind of difficult energy around that place for you in your mind and in your heart. And I think going back there, that's going to get rid of that. Yeah, there's a big motorbike going past. So, okay, so I really, really hope that does resonate for you, because it looks really beautiful inside and outside. And that's really, that whole process of going through that on the inside and then going back to that place, it's going to get rid of a whole lot of difficult things. And you're really going to grow from that and be a lot more positive. Really, really, really good. Really good. I love that. So the next card you have for your future is the Four of Cups. Okay, so this is really, really obvious of what's happening in this card. You can probably see this. You probably know what this is. So he's saying no. He's being offered a cup and he's obviously saying no. He's got his arms crossed. He's looking down. He's like, no, I'm not interested. So when they come and offer you this, whatever this is, they come and connect again, you're not going to be interested. You're really not. Your focus is going to be all on this healing, and probably looking forward to going to this place maybe. Lots of changes all happening inside you, and you're already going through this process. I keep on seeing that. And the thing is, as you grow, as you get bigger, as you get stronger, you're not going to be a carer. You're not ready to be anyone's carer anymore, unless you're their parent. You're not going to be an adult's carer. And you know, the other thing is, you've been back already a few times and nothing's changed. You could see that in the Nine of Wands. The mountains are barren. You're not going back there again. And you know, this is all showing me your strength as well, because when you get to this point where, you know, they come back again and you say no, you know, the fact that you're saying no, that's huge proof of your strength, because I think there was a time when you probably do just about anything to get them back again, but not now, not anymore, not after you've been through this process. And okay, so I'll talk about the Three of Wands here as well. So yeah, this is all about waiting. So they're still going to be waiting for a while. There's still a lot of emotion there with them. It's going to be there for a while. It's emotion, but it's not love emotion. I'm not saying they don't love you, and I'm not saying they didn't love you. They're absolutely dead. This is a different kind of thing. It's more about missing. It's more about, oh, I miss what I had with them. I miss the life I had with them. That's more what I'm seeing there. So, and yeah, the other thing I'm seeing here is it's not that they won't find love again. I'm not seeing that, but it's something like, yeah, I can't see them finding anyone that's that's kind and generous like you again. And that's a good thing. I'm not saying, oh, they're not going to find anyone like you again. It's not like that. It's like, ha, ha, ha. It's not that kind of thing. It's more like, well, that's good for them. That's good for them, because they shouldn't be leaning on people. And that's going to make them change. That's going to force them to change. They need to do that. They need to focus on themselves. They need to help themselves. And you need to help yourself. And that's what you're doing. So this is a really nice reading. Really nice. So Virgo, I hope this resonated. But as you know, general readings can't always do that. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. And thank you for watching.